consumed by the poor people, then people have branded it like that. So it's now because of the demonstration effect, it means that the poor tend to imitate the rich. Developing nations will imitate the developed nations. So even in our diet also there is some sort of a phenomenon that happens. So this sort of a branding in airports would augur very, very well, taking to the common public, especially now if it is going to start with, those all cannot fly just like that. Either they have to be a government employee or private employee. But on their own, it is only very few, I think. But I feel that the majority of them from A1, A2 or B1 categories of customers or consumers that would normally fly. So if that is branded as a food that can be consumed by them, and the glamour that is associated with the rest of the people will very easily follow that. They will, and the consumption, millet consumption, which has to grow, will go more rapidly. So that's the reason you see that initially that kurkure was only it was only available in the cities and the poor villages were not. Today you go the remotest place, you'll find that kurkure. So that sort of a percolation from top to down also is a phenomena that happens, especially the human behavior is concerned. So we will see in the days to come that this phenomena would take and make millet a healthy brand, Millet Marvels, and millets, I think it should be a vehicle to promote the millets. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your passion coupled with Dr. Bharat's should take it much far. And also your statement that the elite patronizing millet will definitely take it to the other sections as well. Now we'll open the forum for question answers by media.
I would like to know your plans, and now that you are settled in Hyderabad with some 4-5 outlets, what is your national plans?
Sir, this is just the beginning, sir. Like our executive director spoke, thanks to GMR and Shri Sangeeta Reddy ma'am. This was a dream for me to at least tell people there is something that you can eat with millets at airport at such a wider platform, so that we actually made it into reality. Like next phase, we are actually looking at spreading at all the Apollo hospitals groups. And sir actually had come to our organization. Sir had actually appreciated our efforts. Like Apollo Health City was the first hospital in India to serve millet food to its patients. And today we have crossed more than 2.5 lakh patients, and one meal every day to the patient we serve millet, and predominantly minor millets. That is a very important thing which Millet Marvels very strictly follows. So now this we are spreading it to Chennai next, and this will be taken across to all the Apollos first, sir. That's on the patient front. Coming up onto our restaurant, and we have two verticals apart from our restaurant format. We also have products, close to 18 to 20 products. So we will be taking it slowly, sir. Next we are actually talking with like how Pradeep sir had actually mentioned, like we are actually looking at going to GMR Delhi next. So we want to see how it is going to be in the next 2 to 3 months here in Hyderabad, sir. Because this is an experimental food. We don't know the acceptance. We don't know how people are going to take it. But we have around 5 outlets in the city, which are all doing well and which are successful also.
So 2 more questions from my side, sir.
Yes, sir.
How much turnover did you do in 22-23, and how much funds you have raised so far?
Sir, to be very honest, I should thank IIMR. I'm here. Probably we are all budded from Dayakar sir's Nutri Hub, and that's where Millet Marvels also started. We did receive a grant from IIMR as well, and currently we have a turnover close to we are doing around including both formats, close to 50 lakhs probably per month is the turnover which we are looking at, sir. But we are sure we'll be increasing it once this airports things open, and we are also, excuse me, sir. We are also very happy to share, we are actually coming up with a very huge millet processing unit here, which again will be one of its kind in India. It's an USDA and BRC certified plant first of its kind where we will be doing automated vacuum packing. There is no automated vacuum packing in India, wherein you will be seeing value-added products and secondary processed millets, which we will be bringing up. So this is a phase where probably next year we will be doing much bigger turnover, sir, once we are successful in the airport.
So for the processing unit that you are talking about and the company's operations expansion, have you raised any fund?
Sir, we have approached IIMR, we have approached APIDA. We did approach them for appealing for the machinery and other things. It is in the pipeline, sir. We are actually somewhere, it is close to say around 8 to 10 CR of the budget is what required for the plant. So we are actually raising the funds, and most of it we have actually opted to our nationalized banks, and we have raised funds through that, sir.
So far bootstrap.
Phenomenal step, sir. Phenomenal step. I mean, this is what we never means. It's a dream come true for me, sir. I mean, I think next 2 months, if we do good at airport, then it will be a game changer. Like we will be changing the way India is eating.
Thank you.
How many restaurants are you planning to do any proposal on that? The restaurants that you have, any proposals to expand that?
Ma'am, it's actually solemnly at the management's decision. As of now, we have stopped franchising it to anybody outside. So we are focused more on actually bringing good quality food. So we were actually last almost 4 to 5 months, we were working on this airport outlets. It was a big challenge for us because we had to bring out a lot of changes to prepare millet food, ma'am. So as of now, we have not given it to franchise to anybody else. Maybe probably in another 3 to 6 months, if management decides, then probably we'll go ahead.
Normally, Gen X is the one which is, more into eating at airports. So how do you really attract that kind of a generation? Because, that's the generation.
Ma'am, our executive director is an example of that. The next generation, she is here, sitting here, promoting millets. So it's a myth, ma'am. That's what actually when we initially started Millet Marvels, a lot of people told me only people above 50 would eat, only people above 60 would come to you, only diabetics would come, hypertensive. I'm surprised to see, but ma'am, people will be forced to eat on a medical point. If you look at young women, ma'am, today, 90% of the women would be taking medication for hypothyroidism. And I think around say 60 to 70, I'm not very good with the numbers, but most of them were actually having PCOD issues. For all these people, the food of choice is millet again. Even they don't want to eat, they will be asked to eat. Like ma'am said, once doctor prescribes, it becomes easy. And I can see, ma'am, like because we have restaurants in the city as well, we see a lot of enthusiastic crowd who come to us, people who work out come to us, they come and have food.
But again, sustainability is one big aspect, like there was a time when oats and buckwheat and quinoa were a fad. Now we have our own Indian millets which are equivalent to that and cheaply priced comparatively. But again, that's a cycle. So how do you sustain this? Like ma'am said, the doctor's thing is more important.
Ma'am, this is just a beginning thanks to Honorable Prime Minister and we celebrating International Year of Millets. So now even the millet cultivation predominantly has grown up even in South and North as well, ma'am. Mm-hmm. So this chain might take another 5 to 10 years. It will take time to build this up. So but we will actually see to that it will change slowly. That change is happening, but it will take time, ma'am. But we need to walk through this because there are no guidelines still in the country for how to do millet, how to eat millet, all this. So now they are framing the guidelines which they are passing on to us. We are actually telling the people.
Okay, just one more question. The locals, I'm talking about the people who come from rural areas and all. They know millets in their local languages. They do not know it as a millet. We go selling them as millet, but they know it as bajra, kodri and all that. So how do you attract those kind of people? Even they are traveling today. So,
ma'am, if you look at our even packing, we have 3 languages written on that.
Okay.
Including English, you will have Telugu and Hindi as well. And we're in the restaurant format actually because that's universally we follow English. That's what we've been writing on the restaurant formats. But we have a screen playing there which actually talks about millets, which explains the benefits of millets, which also talks about how to prepare millets. 1 second, ma'am. I think she wanted to answer something.
I just wanted to add to what you were saying about, like young people, how do you sort of attract them into, making more informed choices? And I truly believe they're already at the cusp of figuring out what works for them and what doesn't. I think, young people, there's more money in the pockets, there's more exploration, there's more, going out and trying to see what is out there. And everyone's now aware of the evils of refined foods, of sugars, of the whites, I would say, which is sugar, wheat. And more people are trying to make that shift in their lives. Especially with the new processed foods factory that we're setting up in Sultanpur, it's going to be much more accessible for young adults to get their hands on a 2-minute Maggi packet as such, but made from millets. Instant upma that's made from millets. Things like this that are going to be quick for them, fast meal, but still rooted in some or the other health benefit. Yeah.
Okay.
And just to answer your previous question as well, sir, we, through private investment, are investing 15 crores in the Sultanpur facility. We've employed around 100 people, out of which 40 have already been deployed, out of which 50% are actually women. So there's a huge push that we're also doing in terms of really ensuring that most of our factory is operated by women.
How have you raised these funds?
It's all through private investment. So via our new shareholding structure.
Bharatji, could you tell what is the plant capacity that you're coming up with? The plant capacity.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get you.
The plant capacity that you're proposing to come up with.
Ma'am, we run around, it will be around 7 to 9 tons per day, ma'am.
7 to 9.
7 to 9 tons per day. And the beauty of this is first of its kind of plant in India, wherein our management approved just with a small R&D we went through, we presented it to them. There is no automated vacuum packaging in India at all. We are coming up with that. And for millets, and second thing, the beauty of Millet Marvels is we don't use polished millet at all. We cook only with whole grain, and we use only minor millets. And the beauty of again Millet Marvels is we don't use the same millet every day. We keep changing millet every day, and we use only whole grain, no polished millets. And like I think probably we have proudly published, ma'am, it's a no whites restaurant. We don't use anything that is white in our restaurant.
Okay. A question to Pradeep ji.
One second.
Pradeep Panikkar ji, you said you're going to take this to all over India.
No,
By that you meant all your GMR airports?
No, I am actually didn't commit on their behalf on going all over India. I don't have the wherewithal or all. I'm talking primarily that as a airport, we will be supporting.
You'll be supporting
yeah.
at all the GMR airports.
Yeah, as in if the product actually kicks off and it does well, then we will definitely support it, because it's finally a choice which people have to make.
Ma'am, I have a question for you. The availability and the price factor is a very important aspect for a farmer. So on that aspect, what is the ICMR doing? Because the seed production is low, and from a millet growing country, we've become half in production. So what is the encouragement that you give to the farmers? And also the machinery that is involved in hulling the grain, that is not up to the mark. So is any work being done on that?
First of all, let me correct that the millet production has not come to half. In fact, it has doubled. No, it has been doubled. The area has reduced. Area has reduced. The production and productivity have increased. Okay, number one. Number two, the pricing you are saying. The government of India has come up with minimum support price. There are minimum support price for bajra, jowar and ragi. And in some states like Chhattisgarh, they are also giving minimum support price for kodo, right? Kodo and kudki. So some state governments, through their millet missions, they are coming up with minimum support price and are also procuring from the farmers. If it is not happening in one state, it does not mean that it is not happening anywhere in India. It is happening in some states who are interested and proactive in promoting millets. The thing is, it depends on the state governments and the existing situations in their respective locations. So we are no one to comment on the state governments. Then there are equipment and machinery available to do primary processing and secondary processing. And through many of the government schemes like FPOs, these primary processing equipment are placed in those farmer producers organizations, and people, the farmers, are given the opportunity to use them and come up with improved millet grains which will fetch them more price. And also efforts are being done by government to enhance the area, production and productivity. For example, when we talk of productivity, in pearl millet, the productivity has enhanced nearly 2.5 times more. And it is scientifically proven that the increase in productivity in pearl millet is nearly 30 kgs per hectare per year over the period. And similarly, you have in sorghum, in ragi and many more small millets. And at IIMR, we work on 9 different kinds of millets. We come up with improved technologies, improved cultivars with high yield and productivity. And apart from this, we also come out with good management practices and agronomic practices which are being dispersed to farmers through our extension system, through KVKs and through FPOs from time to time, and the farmers are updated with the information, latest updates to them. Apart from this, there are many schemes, many millet missions in different governments which are promoting them and also trying to pull up the farmers and support them with good price in the market. I think I try to answer all. Yeah.
So as Madam, I just want to substantiate a few numbers which perhaps for your reporting it would be nice. Say 1950, we had about 15 million tons of millets all put together. Now today we have about 20 million tons. Earlier it was produced from 32 million